וראו כל עמי האורץ כי שם השם נקרא לכו ויורו ממכו. אומר רבי אליעזר הגודל, אלו תפילין שבראש. The Gemara says in Menachos, הסוך בין תפילו לתפילו, whoever speaks between the תפילין של יד and תפילין של ראש, Aveiro hi beyudoi. It's an Aveiro in his hand. V'choizero leho me'orche hamilchomo. And he goes back from the battlefield. It's Rashi Masbir. The Gemara in Masechta Soite Daf Mem Daled Met Beis in Perek Mashuach Milchomo. The Kohen is machris bekol rom. That says in Parsha Shoftim. Mi ho'ish hayore v'rachalevo yelech v'yoshov lebeisoi v'lo yimas es lebav eichov kilvovoi. Whoever is weak in his heart, he should go back to his house and he should not make the rest of the army scared. What does that mean? Hayore v'rachalevov. He is scared from the Averas shebeyodoi, Averas in his hand, and he has no shmirot because of his Averas. Rashi is masbir over there. When is it considered Avera shebeyodoi? Asoch ben tvilo letvilo. Somebody spoke between the tefillin shel yad and tefillin shel rosh. It has only im loy chozar ubeirach if he did not went back to make a brocho on the tefillin shel rosh, which means when he put on the tefillin shel yad, he said lo niach tefillin. He spoke in between. Now the lo niach tefillin goes in shel rosh, and he did not make an extra brocho of al mitzvahs tefillin or tefillin shel rosh. That's called avera shebeyodo. Tosfos ask a kasha. Why dafke by tefillin we say that Avera shebeyodoi is choizer mi orche hamilchomo? How about hasoch ben hashchitas? And Tosfos answers that maybe tefillin is different. The hashal is, what is the difference between tefillin and other mitzvahs? The answer is with the Yerushalmi and Megillah that the Rosh and the Shulchan Aruch Harav brings down in Siman Lamed Zayin, and this is what the Yerushalmi says. From the 248 mitzvahs aseh that we have, in L'chog Gedoylo, there's no greater mitzvahs aseh shebatoiro of one of the 248 mitzvahs in the Torah. Yoiser mi mitzvahs tefillin. The biggest mitzvahs aseh is mitzvahs tefillin. Why? Shehuksho kol ha-Torah kulo le-tefillin. The entire Torah is compared to tefillin. Sheneimar, it says in Posik by tefillin. Why you put on tefillin? Leman tiye Toiras Hashem beficho, so the Torah should be in your mouth. So the Rav Shulchan Aruch says over there, Lochein havi zohir me'oit bo, should be very nizar in mitzvahs tefillin. We see from here that the mitzvahs tefillin is different than all the mitzvahs. In Shulchan Aruch Siman Chof Hei, tefillin munochim neged hamoyach v'neged halev mamish. The tefillin are placed by the moyach and by the heart. These two evorim, the moyach and the heart, the ikrei evorim shel ho'odom. Why? To be meshabed the moyach and the lev to the ribono shel oilom, and the person who puts on tefillin kedas ukedin in the right position, like it says in the Torah, is made edus emes in himself that his moyach and his slave are meshubat to the Torah, to the ribono shel oilom. And the Gemara in Menachos Daf Mem Daled Amud Aleph says, "Amniach tefillin marich yomim." Whoever puts on tefillin correctly, he'll prolong his life. Since the tefillin are placed in the ikrei evrei achayim, the neshama and the moyach, and the nefesh and the leif, ki hadom hu hanefesh, like the Ramah Mipano is masbir. We still have to understand why the hefset brocho is considered an aveiro beyodo, that you have to be machzir the soldier from the orche hamilchomo. It says in the Sforim HaKadoshim that a person, when he does a mitzvah, he creates two types of light, oir hamakif and oir hapnimi, a light around him and a light inside him. The difference between these two lights, the oir hamakif is a protection from the enemy, and the oir hapnimi is a madrege in his neshama. This oir hagodl, the oir hamakif, comes from the brocha. The oir hapnimi comes from the etzem kiyum mitzvah, which means when a person makes the brocha birchas tefillin, he creates a oira makif through the brocha. When a person puts on the tefillin, he creates then a oir hapnimi. That's what the Rizal is masbir in the Pri Etz Chaim Sharat Tefillo Perek Zayin. And the hezbet is when a person makes a brocha and he says Baruch Asher Kideshonu b'mitzvos, of the word Kideshonu means Hifrish oisonu mikol ho'amim. He separated us from all the nations. Betzivonu, by saying these words, he creates himself a separation between him and the Umas Oilom, and he has a shmira against the Umas Oilom that want to hurt him. And al piremes, the posuk that says Mi ho'ish hayore v'rach halevov, Yelech beYoshov leBeisoi is begematria the two brachos that we make, Asher kideshonu b'mitzvoso v'tzivonu, Asher kideshonu b'mitzvoso v'tzivonu, which means whoever is scared that he doesn't have the oir hamakiv, the protection that a person gets by making the bracha and accepting the tzivoy Hashem, and we are different and separated from umas oilam, then he must go back and he may not enter the orchei hamilchoma. Now, the two brachos lehoniach tefillin and al mitzvahs tefillin is begematria verou kol ame haaretz ki shem Hashem nikro olecho veyoru mimeko. Begematria lehoniach tefillin and al mitzvahs tefillin, which means that a person creates a oir hamakiv through tefillin, that all the ame haaretz will recognize that chakikas Shem Hashem on the person who's wearing the tefillin, and that person has the man tiye toiras Hashem beficho, the entire Torah on his moyach and his leif, and they will not be able to come close to hurt him. And this is what Rabbi Eliezer Hagodol says: V'ro kol amei ha'oretz ki Shem Hashem nikro lecho v'yoru mimeko elu tefillin sheberosh. Why tefillin sheberosh? Because in Tefillin sheberosh there are two brachos, klulos on the mitzvahs tefillin, lehoniach tefillin and al mitzvahs tefillin. But hasoch ben tefillos, somebody spoke between the Tefillin shel yad and Tefillin shel rosh, and he did not make two brachos on Tefillin shel rosh. Hareize choize meorche hamilchomo. He has to go back from the milchomo. Why? She'ein lo shmiro. He doesn't have no shmiro. And I feel the people who make only a brocha on Tefillin shel yad and in Tefillin shel rosh, they do not make al mitzvahs tefillin. The Shluach Kodesh brings down that the second brocha al mitzvahs tefillin min hashumayim they are mashlim that brocha. That could be the reason why we don't find any place else that a person soch ben tefillah le tefillah, he should make a new nusach brocha. Lemoshel, somebody make a moitzi lechem in oretz, and he spoke before he ate, he has to again make hamoitzi lechem in oretz. Mashenke by tefillin, somebody spoke between Tefillin shel yad and Tefillin shel rosh, he makes a new brocha al mitzvahs tefillin. Why? Because this is the nusach brocha from Shomayim, kedei to be mashlim the mispar of v'ro kol amei ha'oretz kishem Hashem nikro lecho v'yoru mimeko. We have to be very careful when putting on tefillin. It should be in the right position with the right kavanah, because if not, the Ateres Zekenim says is no different than somebody who is wearing stones, not tefillin. And with this, we can understand something, that people have tinus. You see soldiers who are getting killed even when they wear tefillin. One of the soldiers was killed while putting on tefillin. But if you don't put on tefillin correctly, it's not considered putting on tefillin. Like the Gemara in Kedushin, the Avlam Tesumet Beis brings down, Besheluach HaKain, the man yitav loch, Beharachto Yomim. Bakivud Avim says, Leman Yerichun Yomecho Uleman Yitav Loch. The father told his son to be Mekayim Mitzvahs Kivud Avim and go to the top of the building and bring me goizolos. And he went up and he was Mishalech the aim, and he took the bonim, and in the way down he fell down and died. So Rabbi Yankov says, Eichon Toivas Yomov Shelzeh. The Torah says, Arichos Yomim Ileman Yitavloch. How is that possible? The Gemara answers, Dilmo meharher b'avodah zorah. Maybe he had kavonas avodah zorah b'shas maise in machshovo roa kodesh baruch hu mitzarfo lemaise. And the Gemara has a kasha sheluchei mitzvo ein nizoikin. And for the Gemara, hosam b'alichoson shani. Over here was b'chazoro. The sulam reuo, the kviya hezeiko, b'chol the kviya hezeiko lo samchinu naniso. He brings a raif. Vayomer Shmuel eich eilech b'shomo shol v'haraguni. Vayomer Hashem eglas bokor tikach b'yodecho v'marto lisboyach l'Hashem bosi. Rabbi Elchanan Wasserman said, Chazal say in Masechta Shavuos, Daf Yudches Amud Beis, Kol hamavdil al hayayim b'moitzoi shabusos, havyin lei bonim zechorim. Dechsif, ulehavdil ben hakodesh uben hachoil, isho kisazriya v'yoldo zocher. And not only that, but he'll be zoiche to bonim that are going to be moira hoiro, because it says in Posuk, lehavdil ben hatome ben hatohor, isha kisazriya v'yoldo zocher. Ulehavdil ben hakodesh v'goimer, ulehoir says b'nei Yisrael. You see, we learn smichos and asmachtos. So the Rabbi Elchanan Wasserman says, you see many people who do avdolo al hayayim b'motzoi Shabbos and b'motzoi Yontif, and they do not have the segulo that the Gemara says in Shavuos. and he says, a moshel, somebody who gave a matbeya to his friend, and he put the matbeya in his pocket, so he should have the matbeya in the pocket. But what happens if the person has a hole in the pocket, the matbeya goes down? Same thing. When the Gemara says in Shavuos that a person has a sgulo from Avdolo ala Yain, that is only if he doesn't have the contra skulos. He doesn't have a lochen tash. So where is the Mokom Anochos Tefillin? Let's go with Tefillin Shel Yad, which is the most complicated one. The Shitas from Roiv Rishonim, and that's the Shita Agro, that the entire Bosor HaKiboires, the Bosor HaTafuach, is kosher, and there is in that Bosor HaKiboires shear for 2 tefillin, and each tefillin is about 2 etzbos together, including the Ma'avarta. Altogether, about 4 inches. The Orach HaShulchan, the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and the Shalosh Shuvas Yoshev Yitzchok Chelek Ches Shuva Aleph, and the Mashmos from the Mechaber in Siv Aleph, Ayin Shalosh Shuvas Vayoshev Ayom Simen Dalet, and also Mashmos from the Rav Shulchan Aruch, and also the Mishnah Berurah brings down that with larger tefillin is better to go like the Gro, which is matter the entire Bosor Tafuach, than going too low. And then similar Medalet brings down the Mishnah Berurah B'Shem de Arizal, mashmos like the Gro, that in the Kiboires is place for 2 tefillin, and the Shel Rashi should be on the upper half of the Kiboires, and the Rabbeinu Tam in the lower half of the Kiboires. And this is koilel the tituro and the ma'avarto, like it says in the Machzis HaShekel and mashmos from the Bach. So this is the first shita, that the entire kiboires is kosher for tefillin. Lower than the kiboires or higher than the kiboires, that will be a problem according to everyone. The second shita holds not the entire kiboires is kosher, but only half of the kiboires is kosher, and that is the Kabbalas HaGeoinim, the Shimush Rabo, only until plag zroya, which means half of the etzem hazroya. Which half? The half which is mul halev mamish, when the hand is in hanging position, and the shear is about 2 etzboas, kolel the ma'avarto, the taz in Simen Lamedalet, when he speaks about the machlokes between Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam, and a person should try to wear both sets of tefillin bevas achas, he brings down that it's not so simple whether we have space for 2 tefillin memelo. You should put the Rashi in the Mokom Vadai and Rabbeinu Tam in the Mokom Hasofik. The third shita is in which half of the etzem azroya is the shitas hageoinim that you're supposed to wear the tefillin, the upper half or the lower half. Is Rabbeinu Peretz and the Yabia Oimer, and also the Mashmos from the Mechav and the Ramo, that from the center of the etzem until the elbow is the Mokom Anochos Tefillin according to the Shitas HaGeoinim. Next shita is the Shitas Rabbeinu Hananel in the beginning of Perek HaMoitzi Tefillin, the last Perek on Eruvin, Bosor HaToifech shebebeis HaShechi, the half of the kiboires which is towards the armpit. And we know that Rabbeinu Hananel is Iker Kabbalas HaGeoinim, like the Rosh says in Soif Perek Rishon the Masechta Nido. Rabbeinu Hananel has the Mesoiros HaGeoinim that we have today. From the Rambam is also mashma like Rabbeinu Hananel, that the Rambam says you have to put on tefillin bebosor hatoifech shebemarpek, and marpek means the beis hashechi, like his masbir in Masechta Tomit in Peregimel Mishnevov, Amas hashechi hu atzil in marpek, and the Gemara in Masechta Bob Metzio Dav Lamed Gimel in Rashi B'chol Hashas, marpek is the beis hashechi, and also is the mashmos from the Darkei Moshe Ha'oruch from the Ramo, the goyva shel yad, the chelik arishon shel etzem, the upper half of the etzem, and also is mashma like that in Piskei Toizus Menochos and Ois Kuf Chov Ches, that Mokom Menochos Tefillin is mechatzi zroya ve'elech, and Toizus also is masbir keneged halev means mul ha-shodayim, and we know that means the upper half of the zroya. Also mashmos from the Shlo HaKodesh, that his goyres in Hagos Asmak of Rabbeinu Peretz, goyva shel yad at plag zroya shel tzad HaKodo, from the upper half of the zroya until the center of the etzem hazroya, which he passes the lower half of the kiboires of the zroya. That's why Rav Moshe Kreuzer is masbir. So the best way to do is to wear the tefillin in both halves of the etzem hazroya, the tefillin, the entire tefillin in the upper half, or the entire tefillin in the lower half, but not in the center. But the iker mokom halev, the kuli alma, is in the upper half, like we know bechush, and many gedolei Yisrael are makpid to put the tefillin high up in the arm. So by doing the mitzvah correctly, with all the shmiras that Chazal say,